Comic Skate.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for movies you don't have to watch, and today we're having a look at They Came From Beyond Space. However, what I normally do is I come up with a reason for you not to watch a movie. This movie, shot in the 70s and on a very low budget, might be a movie that you have to watch, especially if you're a sci-fi or Doctor Who fan. Now, the reason that I bring that up is normally when we find a movie from the 70s that is free on Amazon Prime, it's free for a reason. This time, however, I think it's fair to say that the movie is one of those rare classics that is worth watching. Hello again, I am Lonnie Webb, and let me first ask that you like and share and subscribe to the channel. We need your support as much as ever to help grow it. If you leave a comment, if you hit the like button, that helps the algo. Hit the subscribe button. Recommend to your friends that they also come and watch the channel. Now, in addition to that, I am going to ask that you take a gander at Indiegogo.com and search for Destiny Mountain Demon. That is an EC style horror comic. It's the first issue of possibly several. It depends on what people think. If you like it, please tell me. If you don't like it, please tell me. And I'll spend my time appropriately. Sorry about the green glare that is right there. That is caused because I had to go sit by the power outlet. I have to charge my laptop. Anywho, we are today going to talk about They Came From Beyond Space. That's an important distinction. Outer Space is a different movie and will get you very confused. They Came From Beyond Space is a simple, cheaply made, but high-end production movie from the 60s. I want to say 67. It came before, well, it came from before what we will recognize it as. So the first thing that caught my eye when we went through the title sequence, we get this swirly business in the back. Now, that was kind of popular in the 60s, but there was something about it that looked familiar. And let me see if I can find a better, more convincing feature of that. I cannot. But that was the first thing that made me think of Doctor Who. That and the music, very jazzy, and that is reminiscent of the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies. The production company is the same company, turns out. The plot. A series of meteors arrives in formation and changes its course to strike a specific area in England. I think it was Cornwall. When this, yeah, you can get the music. Look at that. When the meteorites arrive, they have the capacity to control people, and they do that through a mental connection between the being in the meteorite and the people first on the scene, which are, of course, the scientists recruited by the government to come out and make an assessment of who's who here. And they weren't thinking there was any particular life form involved, but they were concerned about radiation and some other things. And there are familiar actors from Pyramids of Mars and Arc of Infinity from Doctor Who. Spearhead from Space began with the same plot of meteorites arriving in formation and landing in a field. This is from a book. The movie is a direct adaptation of The Gods Hate Kansas. I don't know if the book's any good. It's popular with enough people that a movie was made of it. Our lead actors: Robert Hutton plays Dr. Curtis Temple. Jennifer Hayne plays Lee Mason. And Bernard Kay turns up. He had an appearance in a 007 movie. And I believe he and George Wallace appeared a couple of times, if not much more, in Patrick Troughton TV shows. Michael Gough is the master of the moon. The only letdown of the movie is the final scene is a little undersold and probably could have been shortened on the editing room floor, but it needed a more emotional confrontation. The sets feel familiar, and even though I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, the reason that they feel familiar is the sets for the moon base, the sets for the base on Earth are redresses, satisfying redresses of the sets that were previously built. So these set pieces have already appeared if you've seen the Dalek invasion of Earth. They're not distracting. They just feel comfortable. This bad guy from Pyramid of Mars and this bad guy from Arc of Infinity try to do surgery on the good guy's head because he has a plate of silver in his head, and that prevents them from taking over his mind. Their solution is to take it out. The aliens want to take control and cannot take control if you have enough silver interfering with their transmissions that would normally control your brain. Jennifer Jane, she's normally a B-list actress. She appears only in supporting roles that I can find, but she totally sells becoming the local bad guy here on Earth. I mean, she's formidable. Our good guys develop means to detect controlled humans as well as weapons to interfere with them. The aliens fabricate a plague. Sound familiar? They fabricate a plague to scare humanity into staying out of their way while they do their job. The plague is nothing more than to cause capillary blood to seep out of human skin and look bad. And then the humans become trance-like and appear to be dead when examined by medical professionals. Lo and behold, in reality, the humans are frozen and put away for storage to be used as workers on the moon in the alien moon base. Here we have Luancha Greer, real name Pamela Greer. She is, I can't find any movie that I have seen her in, but I know I have. She is you see her in this movie and you're going to say, aha, that is uh, at least an A-list supporting actress anytime she gets on screen. She's got got a good film presence and total command of body language. The the advertisement, they had their focus on the torpedoes. That's all I'm going to say. That's how they were looking to get your attention there. The master isn't over the top. He is well acted. In fact, he's restrained in his acting. So the confrontation between our primary character and the big bad isn't much more than a confrontation of logic and communication, and resolves very quickly. Disappointingly so. It needed a more emotional outburst from the master, and I gather that that actually occurred in the novel that this was taken from. For whatever reason, if it was filmed that way, it ended up on the editing room floor. Our main character, this is going to sound familiar, our main character drives around in an antique car. They make a big deal out of the fact that he has a fascination with antique cars. This movie came out in '67. The John Pertwee era began in '70 or '71 with Spearhead from Space, which clearly is influenced by this movie, if not the novelization of uh, The Gods Must Hate Kansas. Did this movie shape Doctor Who? You will enjoy watching these characters, even though these are a romantic couple. When Lee Mason becomes the local bad guy, and Dr. Curtis has to fight to save her from this influence, it becomes very, very potent, but the action is the action for the plot's sake. It's enjoyable. It's a romp, and I can find no fault with spending time during our beer bug imprisonment to watch that film. And there again, we have that wonderful vintage car. I think you will feel very comfortable watching this movie and having some wonderful recollections of it later. Other names that appear in the movie are James Donnelly. Jack Lambert played the doctor that was in The Office. He was, I think Paula Greer is probably the most interesting while she was on screen. I mean, she stole the scene. If I could, please go hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment on my channel, either on YouTube or Rumble. And I look forward to talking to you again. All the links are going to be in the description, and I will talk to you again when I can.